Pop quiz, asshole. You have a hair trigger aimed at your head. What do you do? What do you do? What am I going to do? I'm going to go over the film Speed from 1994. Great action film. One of the best of the 90s. And it stars Keanu Reeves as Jack Traven, Dennis Hopper as Howard Payne, Sandra Bullock as Annie, Jeff Daniels as Harry, and Joe Morton as Captain McMahon. It's directed by Jean de Bont. So Speed, what is it about? Well, I'm going to tell you, and then I'm going to go over my thoughts and what I love about this film. Speed starts off at an office building, and it's set in Los Angeles, and basically what happens is that there's a bomb on an elevator and people are trapped there. So we're introduced to the character of Jack Travers and his partner, played by Jeff Daniels, and they basically disable this bomb, and they find this mad bomber, and he blows himself up and they think he's dead. Well, they get awarded medals and they're heroes. Turns out the bomber faked his death and he's alive, played by Dennis Hopper, and he puts a bomb on a random city bus, and Keanu Reeves, has to find the bomb that's on the bus. So the first half of it is him trying to find the bus, and once he's on the bus, the bomb is there, and if it goes over 50 miles per hour, then the bomb is activated and it cannot go below 50 miles per hour. And this is such an intense film, and the rest of the film, it pretty much involves Keanu Reeves' character Jack, and Annie's there. She's just a regular person who basically lost her license and has to take the bus, and there is a complication that goes on that causes the bus driver to get shot, so she has to drive the bus. So they have to make sure the bus doesn't drop below 50 miles per hour or they're all dead. And it's a very exciting film. That's pretty much a story of Speed without giving too much away. Most of the majority of the film's on the bus and them trying to keep at a speed higher than 50 miles per hour. Great stuff. This is pre-Matrix Keanu Reeves, but post-Bill and Ted, and you really get to see more of his range and what he's capable of, and basically kind of his transition to the modern Keanu Reeves we all know and love today in Speed. Speed is very, very good. Jean de Bont directed this. Jean de Bont was a cinematographer of the original Die Hard from 1988 and Lethal Weapon 3 from 1992. As a matter of fact, the opening was inspired by him filming Die Hard in an elevator shaft, and he thought of that whole opening. Graham Yost wrote the script. He also wrote the script for Broken Arrow. And originally it was kind of like Die Hard, and Keanu Reeves was approached for the role, and he turned it down because he thought it was too similar to Die Hard. So, I don't know if you know this, but Joss Whedon, director of The Avengers and creator of Buffy, did some rewrites, and it became the movie we know as Speed. And many directors turned this down. John McTiernan turned it down, Rennie Harlin, even Quentin Tarantino. And Quentin Tarantino actually stated that this is one of his favorite films. It's in his top 20 of best films from 1992 onward. So it made his top 20 from 1992 onward of his films. So that says something about the film Speed. It truly is an original type of action movie. It's a different type of action movie. You get a little bit of fighting. There's some gunplay, but mostly it's the thrill of everything, the intensity, the ticking clock of the whole movie, and if they're going to make it out alive on this bus. And it's very hard to do that, have an action movie and be entertaining inside a bus for almost half the movie. And John de Bont and everything with the writing and the actors is just fantastic in this and keeps it very adrenaline heavy and enjoyable. Sandra Bullock is great. I love the chemistry between Keanu Reeves and Sandra Bullock. They're just great together. I want them together. I mean, just look at this and then Lake House. That's something the sequel is really missing from. But yeah, this movie is crazy. It has crazy action besides the bus stuff. The obstacles they must face with one another inside the bus. Dennis Hopper, whether or not he'll blow him up. Highway. They can keep a speed above 50, but they can't slow down, so obstacles on the roads. There's a scene where they're on a highway bridge and it's incomplete, and it has to basically like get enough speed to jump across to the other side. Very intense stuff, whether they make it or not. And John DeBont actually had an idea to do that sequence when looking at I-10 in California, and he saw that it was under construction. That part wasn't in the script at all, and after seeing an incomplete piece of the highway, he's just like, we're going to add that in the movie. And I'm so glad they did. It's one of the best sequences. And the whole train part at the end is just crazy. Originally, they didn't have enough money. They ran out of money at the end of the film. And test audiences loved it so much that the studio was just like, you know what? We're going to produce some funds to properly film those. And I'm glad they did, because it really makes it an exciting third act. But yeah, this is one of my favorite films. I used to watch this all the time on HBO as a kid, and yeah, it's one of the few films that I loved and never bought until actually like recently, a couple of years ago. I bought it my freshman year in college, and I bought it, and I said I bought Speed, and everybody kept on thinking I was talking about the drug Speed. I'm like, no, crazies, the movie Speed. And that's the one I have right now. I got it at Resurrected Games by Adobe Center in Austin. I still have it. It's great. The performances are fantastic. Keanu Reeves, he's still a little bit of the 90s pre-Matrix Keanu Reeves. It was just like, whoa. And it's just like, what are you going to do? We need to stop the bomb. Can't go over 50 miles per hour. That type of stuff. But, you know, he's actually trying in this movie. And it's a breath of fresh air. It's much better than some of his earlier work. He's getting towards that Matrix Keanu Reeves in this. Sandra Bullock's great and everything, and I love the chemistry, like I said earlier. Jeff Daniels is terrific. He's a very underrated actor, and I like him as Jack's partner. The captain's great. It's nice not seeing him as Bennett Dyson from Terminator. He's actually a different type of character. He's not trying to destroy the world or build machines. He's not Olivia Pope's daddy yet. Dennis Hopper, though. Dennis Hopper is one of the best villains. I mean, he has fun with this role. Sure, it may be a little bit cheesy now, but I love it. He just really relishes the role in it, and just it's almost like seeing Jack Nicholson in the 1989 Batman. Dennis Hopper's like that in this film. He just goes crazy, and it's just like Jack is out of the box, and it's nice seeing him just like as a total opposite of Jack, and a kind of unstoppable force to a degree. For Keanu Reeves to go up against, and somebody who's really smart as a mad bomber, and that's something crazy. It's pretty crazy where he basically challenges the protagonist without meeting with him face to face, with the exception of the beginning. He meets face to face with him at the end of the film, and that's just some crazy stuff there. And it's very rare to have a film that's, like I said, with a bus, but having the main antagonist be off screen and not really challenging the protagonist physically, but he's challenging him in other ways, and that's something that's great about this action film. It's one of the best action films of the 90s. Another great action film done by 20th Century Fox, back when they used to make a lot of great action movies. But yeah, this is just an adrenaline action film. It's a fast-paced film, and I would highly recommend it. So what is my score for Speed? My reaction is just quite great. I still love this movie as much as I did when I first saw it in the mid-90s as a kid. Very few movies can be action-packed and limited locations, but always keep it going. And this film never slows down until the very end. It just keeps going and going and going, and the stakes keep getting higher and higher and higher, and that's something very rare in an action film nowadays, and even like back then. It's a very realistic, more grounded action film, while having some crazy type of stunt work. It still is great. Plus, Alan Ruck's in it. Cameron from Ferris Bueller's in it. He's a tourist. He's visiting California. So It's great. There's a lot of humor along with the seriousness of this movie. It's very good to balance that out. John DeBont later on did Twister, and then he did the horrible sequel, which Keanu Reeves was not a part of. Luckily, he went to do Matrix. But he after that he ended up doing Tomb Raider, Cradle of Life. But I always knew Die Hard and Lethal Weapon kind of had a similar look to Speed, and I was wondering why. I didn't know about cinematographers when I first saw this, so it was nice seeing that the guy that did Die Hard cinematography did this because they look very similar as far as the visual style and everything, and also being 20th Century Fox. If I had to give Speed a score, I would give it a 4.8 out of 5, a 9.6 out of 10, and A. Speed is an all-around great action-packed film with some ham and some cheese, but it's all good. It's not bad. It's just really entertaining, and that's all I can really ask for in an action film and just a film alone. It's entertaining. It's not the worst movie ever. It's not Oscar-worthy type of movie, but it's a great and entertaining action flick, and I highly recommend you watching it. Especially when I get some early Keanu Reeves and see him and Sandra Bullock together. It's just great stuff, and then Dennis Hopper, one of his best roles. Just all around great stuff. And oh yeah, the music. Before I go, the music. It's just fantastic. The dun 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 dun, and the music really adds a lot to the way you feel about the action and the stakes and just your heart beating and this ticking clock syndrome of a script and story. So yeah, that's my score for Speed, and that's how I feel about it. It's very quick. I went through this very quick, and I could have gone through it much more, but I just want to give my quick thoughts out there, my reaction. And if you haven't seen Speed, especially if you're a 90s kid, I don't know how the hell you wouldn't see Speed, but if you made it through the 90s as a kid and didn't get to see Speed, get off your ass and watch Speed. Pop quiz, assholes. You have a chance to watch a movie called Speed. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? You're gonna watch Speed. I would highly recommend it. You would not be disappointed. It's a fun ride. Make some Hot Pockets, do some TV dinners, popcorn, get a drink, and watch Speed. Anyway, that's it for my little quick action reaction of Speed. Let me know what you think of the film if you've seen it. What are some of your favorite moments? What are your favorite action films? Just stuff like that. Feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. And yeah, that's it for Speed. And that's all my thoughts for today. So yeah.